Sri Ramakrishna and pray for peace and happiness of the whole humanity. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha. Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been discussing some of the topics taken from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. In the last class, I just started the topic, guard yourself from octopus. If you are aspiring for spiritual illumination, you must take all precautions and must be vigilant and watchful about this dangerous octopus. Sri Ramakrishna has referred to this in 4 or 5 places in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. He has said 8 fetters, 8 in number, not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. 8, quite a big number. We are born in this world, we are under the grip of this octopus. We must become aware of why are we suffering, why are we in bondage in spite of aspiring for real peace and happiness. The more I try to get into happiness, the more kicks I am getting in this world. In the name of happiness, I am becoming more unhappy. In the name of peace, I am becoming more and more restless. So, what's the reason? The reason has been diagnosed. That's why God is called Bhavaroga Vaidya. He is a doctor for the disease of the worldliness. Nobody else can cure it other than God Himself. And spiritual masters have got that assignment of giving relief to the people suffering in a chronic way out of this worldliness. Out of the infinite compassion, the Supreme God incarnates Himself just to give the glimpse of real happiness and peace. He incarnates Himself and undergoes the same experiences as ordinarily people do experience in this world. So the incarnation lives amongst us in order to show, in order to give guidance positively and to help us to raise ourselves from this morbid state of worldliness. Unless you decide to get over from this worldliness, you will not be able to experience real joy or real peace. You may be talking about happiness, talking about peace, but in reality, you are not having that peace or joy. As you grow older and older, you become more and more unhappy, dissatisfied, and frustrated. So, herein comes the supreme value of the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, how he has said very clearly in a very simple way but effectively the reasons why we are suffering, because we are under the clutches of this octopus. You have to get rid of them. That's the point. First you must know what it is. Then you must make a strong will to apply the treatment. You may know the drug for the disease you are suffering from, but if you don't take the drug, how can you expect to be cured from the disease you are suffering from? So, to know the correct drug for the correct disease is first step, and the immediate next step, important step, is to take that drug and get the benefit of that. So, I am referring to Sri Ramakrishna as Bhavaroga Vaidya, the doctor for the disease of worldliness. He lived in this world amongst us. At the same time, Sri Ramakrishna was untainted by any kind of worldliness. He was untouched, perfectly pure and perfect. Just like Padmapatra Mivambhasa, lotus on the muddy water. Lotus is not tainted by the muddiness, by the mud of the water. It is clean and pure and beautiful. That's how we should conduct ourselves in this world. We must live in this world like lotus on the water. Well, these fetters have been notified in the last class. The 8 fetters: Lajja, Grina, Dvesha, Bhaya, Jati, Kula, Shila, Shoka, Jugupsa. So these are the 8. They're all wonderful Sanskrit words full of meaning. All these 8 fetters are in every one of us, holding us tight into this world. We can't get out of it even if you want to get out, because the grip is so strong. You must loosen the grip, then only you can expect to free yourself. And though all these 8 clutches are there in every one of us, each one of us is predominantly under the grip of one main clutch. As I said, fear, hatred, shame, all this may be there in a person, but the predominant quality that is most prominent in one's life is, some people may have, he may be overcome by fear. All the time he'll be fearing. So much fear bothers me too much. For some people anger bothers. For some people hatred bothers. For some people shame bothers. For some people vanity bothers. So all these 8 are there, but one among these 8 is more powerful in every person. So once you know these are the culprits, you must take immediate steps to get out of these culprits. That's what I was talking to you in the last class, and we have discussed about the 2 qualities, which is shame and hatred, how they are responsible for blinding us. We are not exposed to see the glory of the divine because of the active presence of these qualities. As I said, fear bothers terribly. It is another great hindrance. It will not allow you to engage yourself with full confidence. It acts like a negative force. It just pulls you down. Fear. That's why in the Upanishad also it is very clearly stated, this Atman can never be realized by a person who is fearful, who is weak. Nayamatma balahinena labhyaha. That means you need to be strong. You need to feel, you need to be aware of your true quality. Your true quality is fearlessness. I am strong. I am strong. I am like diamond. You must adore the strength. The strength should express in every action, in every movement, in every behavior. Value of strength must be manifested in full glory. You must apply that strength in the proper way, in right direction. Apply the strength in worldly ways, you get worldly benefits. Apply the strength in spiritual way, you will get the spiritual benefit. So, this universe is a cosmic dispensation, and everything in it is determined by an unerring law which functions for individual and collective good. Half of our misery will not be there if we banish fear from our minds, and all our fear is but imaginary and can be easily analyzed away by a touch of sound common sense. If you are aspiring for spiritual illumination, if you are aspiring for spiritual knowledge, you must be a hero, not a coward. Fear is negation of faith in God. But generally we keep saying fear of God we must have. There you must understand in a proper way. The term of fear of God is really a deep reverence for the divine, a willing resignation to the will of providence. The spiritual aspirant is really a warrior because he should fight against many base things in life, and in order to fight effectively, you need a strong shield. You must wear an armor of fearlessness. Armor of fearlessness is important to fight the enemies in the life. Otherwise you will collapse. Fear is responsible for your collapse. You collapse. You lose all interest in life. You feel you are hopeless, worthless. You degrade yourself, and all sorts of things happen just because of this dangerous quality of fear. So, from the day start to the time you go to the bed, you must always feel every moment you are strong. I am strong. I am really strong. I am very strong. Why should I be fear of anything? Strength is my true nature. The nature of the Atman is strong. So, by constantly meditating on that, you feel tremendous confidence in yourself to undertake any work without any fear. Even difficulties, sufferings, you are able to sail through on account of this armor of fearlessness. I am strong. What is this suffering? I just walk over them. You feel even suffering is a joy. You will reach that state. What is suffering? What is... So, one has to get rid of this clutch of the fear, shame, hatred, fear. A fearful man dies every moment. Though he is living physically, He's dead mentally because of the fear. He can't do anything. That's why Swami Vivekananda has said, his gospel of strength. Swamiji means personification of strength. Just look at his portrait, you get immense strength. Read his teachings every day, at least 2-3 lines. That keeps you very fine. You'll be in a fine mood. Strength is life, weakness is death. Strength is life, weakness is death. So, you must identify what are the factors responsible for making me miserable in this life. These are the factors. So this is the third fetter. Octopus has got 8, It spreads its tentacles in 8 ways. So then comes jati, caste. There's another great loop, as it were, to drown ourselves in that loop. Feeling proud of your caste. I am a Brahmin. Immediately the thought comes, you are superior to everybody. And another person says, oh, I belong to a menial class. Immediately he feels totally depressed. I cannot rise myself to that level. He condemns himself. He positions himself that he is worthless. So either inferiority complex or superiority complex, both are to be avoided. Both are dangerous. Both should be rejected. Never have any complex in the mind. As a Atman, you are free from all caste, community, race and this and that. It all depends upon how individually you develop yourself. What does it matter in whatever community you are born? It doesn't mean a person being born as a Brahmin is perfect and pure and good in every respect. A person being born as a Brahmin may be worst. He may be dubious. He may be just clever enough to exploit the people for his selfish interests. So what is the use of that then? So, caste as a social institution, it may have its uses, but it must not be permitted to operate beyond its sphere and trespass into the spiritual field where man deals directly with God. So, the mere accident of birth should not be the sole factor in caste determination. One might have been born in a very low caste, but he may shine a great spiritual luminary. Take the example of Sri Ramakrishna's disciples. Swami Adbhutanandaji, very great soul. That's why the name is given Adbhut. Wonder, great wonder. Swami Vivekananda gave that name to Adbhutan. You are Adbhut. Why? Though he comes from a very, very low caste, a tribal class, a tribal community, coming from a poorest family, such a person got the highest spiritual illumination in this very life. He was not born as a Brahmin. He did not study scriptures. He did not study Upanishads. But he was a very sincere person. That was enough. Sri Ramakrishna accepted him. He recognized the utter sincerity in his heart and how he became really very great. You must read teachings of Swami Adbhutananda. It's available. Tremendous. So, the inner traits of a man and the work he actually performs must be regarded as greater determinants of caste than mere birth. Being born as a low caste is no bar for the realization of God. In fact, probably you are all aware of the name Narada Rishi, a great Maharshi who always sings devotional songs on God. He is noted for the devotion. And who was he? He was a son of a maidservant. But because he was a son of a maidservant, he had the occasion of meeting holy people coming to the homes where his mother was working as a servant. But this boy imbibed all the good teachings of those holy people. And one day his mother was bitten by a snake and she died. And this boy became very repentant, and finally he thought, what is this world? World means like this, death and birth. I must realize the truth. Then he went to forest to undergo tapas, austerity. But he had the basic quality, that is, he was sincere and sincerely prayed. And he heard the voice, well, death and birth are inevitable in this world. Anyway, your faith is great, you are sincere to the backbone, so you will have the spiritual illumination in your next life. He heard the voice like that. In next life he became Narad Maharshi. That was his life. Well, so Sri Ramakrishna, referring to this system, he says, well, lovers of God do not belong to any caste. Another way of putting is, lovers of God all over the world belong to one community, and that is, they are the devotees of God. Finished. They all belong to one community. There is no division there. When you love God, that's the meaning of that. You don't have any distinction, you don't claim any superiority, you don't claim any rights. So when you become lover of God, you become really special. The mind, body and soul of a person becomes purified through divine love. So caste pride is a symptom of extreme narrowness of outlook. It doesn't help the growth of spiritual maturity. And in the worldly sense, people always quarrel and fight in the name of community. This community fighting with the other community. But if you come to spiritual, must cut off that barrier. The other one is lineage, jati, kula, lineage. There's pride of a family and lineage. I belong to Raghuvamsha. I belong to the lineage of Sri Ramachandra. Sri Ramachandra was born in my lineage. I am born in that line. It's alright. It's good to be born in that lineage, but if you don't cultivate proper virtues in your life, simply having that pride will not solve the problem. That means it doesn't become worthy unless one's conduct is in accordance with the noble traditions of one's ancestors. My ancestors were great Vedic masters. Good. Am I also trying to practice Vedic traditions? Then it is worth remembering your ancestral glory. A great thinker has said, of all vanities and fopperies, the vanity of high birth is the greatest. True nobility is derived from virtue, not from birth. Virtue. Concentrate upon cultivating virtues. Then Shila, pride of good conduct. No doubt it is very good to be good rather than being bad. It's all right. But simply remaining good and feeling boastful about it, that's not good. You may be good in appreciating the values and in helping the people, in building hospitals, educational institutions, organizing different group committees, meetings, organizing interfaith. Nowadays interfaith meetings are very popular all over the world. You may be expert in all those things, but simply to be proud of that quality is not conducive for your spiritual growth. You must rise above that. Don't remain at that point. Don't be static. Keep moving. Keep moving. Go forward. Never stop. That's not the end of it. It only is leading you towards the right direction. That's all. But you must go beyond that. Never feel proud that you are good, because ultimately That pride kills you. You will develop hurt feeling. How much I have done. Look at those people, they are ungrateful to me. Like that you will criticize. Why do you care whether they are grateful to you or not? You are doing good because you love God and you are doing it. That should be our attitude towards cultivation of good. To be good really means don't expect anything in return. Whether they express gratitude, whether they express thanks or not, you should not be bothered about that. You must be least bothered. Your concern is only to help. That's all. I love to help, I help. I love to do, I do. I love to be good. So to that extent, one bad person is reduced in the world community. To that extent, I am contributing to the health of the community in the world. So that should be our attitude. Sri Ramakrishna went and met Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar because Sri Ramakrishna was well convinced of his good conduct. He was really very good, extremely great. Because of his good qualities, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was well known throughout the country. And he was really very simple, humble, no pride, no egoism. And Sri Ramakrishna wanted to give him orientation. He was really very fortunate. Sri Ramakrishna going to Vidyasagar, it's not Vidyasagar coming to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna is going. It's God coming to the devotee, not devotee going to God. Because Sri Ramakrishna felt, here is a gold, it must be properly refined. It is gold, it must be refined properly. So he went there, he met Vidyasagar in order to refine him, in order to give him spiritual orientation, in order to make him understand that God is supreme and you are doing everything for the sake of God, for the love of God, and for the realization of God. If that is not the goal, all your goodness ends up in nothing. Just good, that's all. Trees are good, they give nice shade in summer and gives beauty to the eyes with their leaves and flowers, gives fruits for the people to eat. It's tremendously good. But it's tree. It dies, again it is born as a tree. The seed is again born as a tree, finished. No, your goodness should not end up just in that. Goodness must be used as a step towards going higher. Transcend that, go beyond that. So that means never be proud of your good conduct. On the other hand, be more humble. That humbleness is a spiritual quality which you get only if your goodness is oriented properly. That's what Sri Ramakrishna did. And Vidyasagar became blessed on account of the visit of Sri Ramakrishna. Seventh one is grief, shoka. That's also tremendous, unbearable. Man is a child of the blissful divine. He must banish grief from him. Grief is a sign of ignorance of and disbelief in the goodness and mercy of providence. Well, it's also a great fetter. Sri Ramakrishna has mentioned these 8 fetters in the Gospel. Shoka is the 7th one. In Mahabharata, amidst battlefield, suddenly Arjuna was grabbed by mysterious grief. It depressed him so much he couldn't do anything. He could not even hold his bow and arrow. It just dropped on the ground. He felt as if his all energy, strength, all has been sapped away. All has been taken away. He felt like that. It was a terrible state of suffering. And Lord Krishna, he was really fortunate to have Lord Krishna on his side. And Shri Krishna freed Arjuna from the infatuation which caused that grief in him. He taught the philosophy of the life and how one should conduct oneself. That's how we got the message of Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters. Cheer and not grief is a thing to be cultivated for spiritual upliftment. So, as soon as the grief comes, you must immediately think of its opposite, cheerfulness. Why should I grieve?
By being grief, you can't avoid the thing, what had happened and what would happen. It only kills you, that's all. So, maintain cheerfulness. That's the spiritual quality. That's the way how to overcome shoka, grief. You must have philosophy of life. Without philosophy, your life cannot sustain. Some things happen, immediately collapse. You can't bear with, because there is no philosophy. You have no background. You are building the house without foundation. A life without philosophy is life without foundation. Philosophy means spiritual philosophy. Philosophy based on spiritual ideas. Hold on to spiritual ideas and live cheerfully. That's the meaning. And the last one is jigupsa, disgust. Jugupsa. That is a vehement dislike. It's a sign of ill breeding. A person is disgusted with another because of his inability to appreciate the brighter side of that person. You must know the fact that there is nothing in creation which is not of worth. Even dirt, which fills us with disgust, is only good matter in the wrong place. We hold our nose when we get near the dustbin, but the dustbin's contents are valuable material for the cultivation in search of manure for crops. The saint feels no disgust even for the sinner. It is only the petty moralist that sniffs at every slip in people. Person of true culture despises no individual and spurns nothing. In the Imitation of Christ, we read, study to be patient in bearing the defects of others and their infirmities, be they what they may, for thou hast many things which others must bear withal. The aspirant who strives for perfection must not develop an attitude of disgust, aversion, intolerance towards anything. That's why in the Lord Krishna says in the Gita, Ragadvesha Viyuktanam. Ragadvesha Viyuktanam. You must go beyond likes and dislikes. You must be always conscious of the beauty and orderliness, utility and worth that mark everything in existence. The fully blossomed soul behaves like a child, an insane person, an inert thing, a ghoul. The scriptures describe the illumined person like this. The one thing common to all the four states is the absence of disgust, of the very notion that one thing or another is impure, unclean or despicable. The tantric sadhana specially prescribes renunciation of aversion. Renunciation of aversion. There's an incident in Great Master. Once a God-intoxicated holy man, a monk, he visited Dakshineshwar Kali temple. He was hungry, but he didn't ask for food. He didn't talk to anybody. Just he went to a place where the remnants of food were thrown away after a feast. There was a dog there looking for the food in the same place. This holy man embraced the dog. Can you believe? And not only that, in the company of dog, he was also eating the remnants of the food thrown away by the people there. After eating done in the company of dog, then he went to the Kali temple and offered his prayers. It created a thrill around. All the people were astounded to see this. Nobody could understand. All the people, ordinary people, what do they know? They see a person in a different way. They thought that he was a mad, some crazy fellow, like that. But Sri Ramakrishna saw that person. Immediately, he was taken aback. Sri Ramakrishna recognized that this holy man was not an ordinary one, a realized soul. And he told Hriday, go, follow that holy man. Take some instruction from him. You must see that in the movie. You have got the movie, Ramakrishna. It's beautiful, that incident. Touching. That holy man said, when the water of this dirty ditch and the holy Ganges yonder will appear as one in your sight, and when the sound of the flute, a musical instrument, and the noise of the crowd will have no distinction to your ear, then you will reach the state of true knowledge. And hearing this, Sri Ramakrishna remarked, that monk has reached the true state of ecstasy and of knowledge. In a perfected jnani, there is not a sign of jigupsa. So, these are the 8 fetters which are binding us into this world. These 8 fetters are very active in our mind. So, for some reason or other, we are always suffering and in some kind of misery. These 8 fetters are verily an octopus. The spiritual aspirant must guard himself against getting caught in the clutches of these fetters with great vigilance and care. We have already been caught. Now we must intelligently manage to cut off this clutch. Swami Vivekananda, how nicely he has composed beautiful poem which he composed at the Thousand Island Park when he was training his American disciples on the teachings of Vedanta. The composition is named Song of the Sannyasin. We chant that every day morning, 5 o'clock, Aarti time. There Swami Vivekananda mentions, strike off thy fetters, bends that binds thee down. Of shining gold a darker baser ore, love, hate, good, bad and all the dual throng. No slavey slave, caressed or whipped not free. For fetters, though of gold, are not less strong to bind. Then off with them, sannyas in bold, say, Om Tat Sat Om. So that concludes this topic. God yourself from Octopus. Page 674. To Bankim Chandra, Sri Ramakrishna said, let me tell you something. What will you gain by floating on the surface? Dive a little under the water. The gems lie deep under the water. So, what's the good of throwing your arms and legs about on the surface? A real gem is heavy. It doesn't float. It sinks to the bottom. To get the real gem, you must dive deep. Then Bankim said, Sir, what can we do? We are tied to a cork, prevents us from diving. All laugh. Master said, all sins vanish if one only remembers God. His name breaks the fetters of death. You must dive, otherwise you can't get the gem. Listen to a song. The Master sang in his sweet voice. Dive deep, O mind, dive deep in the ocean of God's beauty. If you descend to the uttermost depths, there you will find the gem of love. Go seek, O mind, go seek Vrindavan in your heart, where with his loving devotees Sri Krishna sports eternally. Light up, O mind, light up true wisdom's shining lamp, and let it burn with steady flame unceasingly within your heart. Who is it that steers your boat across the solid earth? It is your Guru, says Kabir. Meditate on his holy feet. All listened spellbound. Again Sri Ramakrishna began to talk. Master said to Bankim, there are some who do not want to dive. They say, won't we become deranged if we go to excess about God? Referring to those who are intoxicated with divine love, they say, these people have lost their heads. But they don't understand this simple thing. God is the ocean of Amrit, immortality. Once I said to Narendra, suppose there were a cup of syrup and you were a fly. where would you sit to drink the syrup? Narendra said, I would sit on the edge of the cup and stretch out my neck to drink it. Why? I asked. What's the harm of plunging into the middle of the cup and drinking the syrup? Narendra answered, then I should stick in the syrup and die. My child, Sri Ramakrishna said to him, that is not the nature of the nectar of Sachidananda. It is the nectar of immortality. Man doesn't die from diving into it. On the contrary, he becomes immortal. Therefore I say, dive deep. Don't be afraid. By diving deep in God, one becomes immortal. Bankim bowed low before the master. He was about to take his leave. Bankim said, Sir, I am not such an idiot as you may think. I have a prayer to make. Please be kind enough to grace my house with the dust of your holy feet. Sri Ramakrishna answered, that's nice. I shall go if God wills. Bankim said, there too you will see devotees of God. Master said smilingly, how so? What kind of devotees are they? Are they like those who said, Gopal, Gopal, Keshab, Keshab? All laugh. There's a story of that. What is Gopal, Gopal, Keshab? It comes in the next para. We shall stop here. So Sri Ramakrishna has pointed out the dangerous octopus which is bothering us to hang on to this world as if this world is everything. It smashes you. Even then you won't understand. That's the glory of the Maya. You can very definitely say, Swamiji, what can we do? We are under the grip of Maya. Maya is playing with us. And you are proud to say that. Maya is playing with us. You want to play with the Maya. That's how it's going on. As long as you are enjoying the play, we're good. Enjoy. Once you are connected with spiritual ideas, you are safe in every respect. No fetters have any power to bother you or fasten you. That's why I give the example of lotus on the water. Be like a lotus in this world. Be like a boat on the water. That's spirituality. You may be in this world, you may be carrying all the works like all other people doing, but still you are not worldly. Your mind is not tainted by worldliness. You are not hanging on this world. You are not being bothered by this world. You are not under the pull and pressure of this attachment and all these things. Why people suffer? It's because of attachment. Attachment is the root of all misery. Attachment comes because of my identification with the thing, because of my involvement. I love the thing, I become attached. I love a person, I become attached. So it is the attachment that causes all sorts of problems. But apply that attachment in a good way. Be attached to God. Then that works in a different way. You won't feel you are bound to anything. That spiritual attachment is a special attachment. That's why we don't call it as attachment. The spiritual attachment is called non-attachment. Non-attachment is the spiritual attachment. That is attachment. We are attached to God. That means we are attached to everything in this world, not one individual. That's what Swami Vivekananda says. If you want to retain your individualistic ego, feel that the whole world is, you expand your egos to such an extent, you embrace the whole world. No, in order to give a good turn to attachment, because you know what is attachment means, what attachment means, you know by experience. I am telling you, apply the attachment to God. Suppose you love Rama or love Shiva. Let the whole mind be involved in that. Let your whole being be involved in that adoration and doing His work and serving the people, because they are the children of God, they are suffering. Let us do some service. You just love to do service. You are not interested in any kind of returns. Just you love. Just like mother loving the child. Mother loves the child. It's natural love. So that natural love will come to you. When you practice non-attachment, natural love comes. When the attachment in the worldly sense is used, it has got different result. It brings you some kind of tension and worries and things. See, one person, he wrote me a letter. He sent me an email. His question was, he got a good scholarship for his studies in Australia. And his father said, very good, go and do it. And he said, Swamiji, I am planning to go like this. I need your guidance. Like that, he wrote me a letter. And I immediately replied, wish you all success and very good. You are going for a higher thing. It's good. When you are young, energetic, get into those skillful things and get better. Immediately after 2 days, I got another letter by the same person. Swamiji, now I'm in dilemma, what it is. And she was telling, now my grandmother is not feeling well. She's having some problem. We don't know. She's taking some treatment, but she may need some hospitalization later on, at later stage. We don't know when. So these things are bothering me. And should I go to pursue my studies in Australia? If I go like that, is it not I am going away from my duty, and my father is not able to meet with the expenses because he has not so much of money and all sorts of things. Then I had to reply him. Immediately I replied, well, when your father has said, go and do your studies, you should not have any conflict in your duties now. Because your father has said, you have to obey what your father has said. And your feeling of insecure of your grandmother's illness, etc., it's all imaginary. You're simply imagining. Because nothing is definite and nobody knows it, what will happen. So don't get yourself locked up in that fashion. Simply surrender yourself to God, pray to God to take care of her, to give her health and so on, and continue your studies. Because you are imagining so many things which may not happen at all, and so you are feeling more miserable than the actual thing if it had happened. Like that I wrote. The next he answered, oh, thanks for your guidance. See, that is called attachment. How many grandmothers are all over the world are suffering from? Does he feel the same attachment to all the grandmothers? Or only to that particular grandmother? That's called attachment. If you feel for everybody, then it cannot be called as attachment at all. It's a non-attachment, it's a force of non-attachment. That means you love them so, but in that way you don't have tension, you work for what manner I can help them. Like that you help. See, the other day I was telling to our devotees here, one of our devotees in Chicago Ashrama, a surprise, he came forward and he gave, Swamiji, I am giving this donation. Please start Swami Vivekananda Mass Relief Fund in order to give relief to the millions of people suffering out of different calamities in our country. And he also says, including animals also suffering. Please make use of this amount. And see that he didn't want his grandfather or grandmother's name to be put there. He said Vivekananda's name. Let it be in the name of Vivekananda. That is the value of non-detachment. Suffering everywhere. See, once Swami Vivekananda was sitting in his room and suddenly he was feeling sad, and Swami Vivekananda, who was always cheerful, and others, they found why Swami Vivekananda suddenly became sad. They inquired, and Swamiji said, do you know why I was feeling bad? Because he could see some great fire in some part of the world, and he could see how millions of people are suffered on account of that, and that made him sad. It's not the suffering happened in India and he's feeling sad. It happened somewhere else in the world and he's suffering for that, because his identification is in the whole world. So like that, attachment and non-attachment. Attachment is a negative force. It keeps you under constant stress and strain. Non-attachment is a positive force. It doesn't keep you under stress and strain. On the other hand, you can use maximum all your strength and resources to help a person if you are non-attached. That's the way we should look into. And we shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening the scope to knowledge of thyself. O self, down deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that path for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is measuredness. who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. How I long for the day when the instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, what thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous reign tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.